99X in the Morning X, it's Barnes and Leslie. Now, everyone knows that all true crime comes through the Morning X.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it absolutely...
Yeah.
I joke.
No brainer.
But lately, there's been a lot. Horrific story from over the weekend. Thankfully, they caught the guy, if you don't know yet. We're going to get into it. It happened at Whole Foods this is my Whole Foods, by the way. It is? Yes, in Chamblee. We're going to get into it with Dr. Sabine Lovell, but I think we should probably say, if you don't know what happened, it could get graphic.
Yes, because I imagine we're going to go into detail about what actually transpired in the store.
So this is a very graphic, probably, story from what I know about it. So if you have small children, you might want to tuck them in the glove box, but make sure they have air or turn it down or something like that. So please welcome to the show, Dr. Sabine Lovell. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you guys?
Doing good. You sound very peppy for someone who just had something pretty awful happen to him in a busy week.
Yes, I'm peppy because they caught the guy, and I'm so happy with the police work and everyone who contributed and helped.
Well, that's good. I mean,
yeah.
Do you have any PTSD from this already? I know we're going to get into the story, but how are you feeling?
I'm feeling okay. I mean, I'm a really strong individual in person.
I can tell.
So I'm actually glad it happened to me and not someone else who might have had, prior traumas or PTSD from prior, abuse. Like, thank God I never had any abuse in the past. And so this didn't trigger me in any way.
Yeah.
I was just enraged.
Well, I could tell that you're a powerful person by the fact that you put yourself out there immediately trying to find this person, and you also went after the person. So let's back up. So we're on what day? Saturday, right?
Yes, sir.
So Saturday, you go into Whole Foods. Again, my Whole Foods, so I can picture the scene. You go in, you're doing your thing. Take us through what happened.
Sure. So I went to Pilates, which is basically next door to that Whole Foods. Go to Pilates about once a week, and whenever I go there, then I always stop at Whole Foods because it's right there conveniently. And then as I was walking in, I was like, I need to call the husband, see if he, wants anything as a courtesy. So I called my husband. He was like, I'd like some spicy chips. I was like, well, I don't know what the selection's going to be like, but I will do my best. So I went to the chips aisle, and I saw this guy walking down the aisle. He had, one of those small baskets that he was holding and pretending to be shopping.
Yeah.
I just looked at him, didn't pay him any mind, just kind of saw that he was there. And then I was looking for the chips. I hung up with my husband, and then I was just kind of looking through. So I was looking, and then I was like, those look like they might be spicy chips. So I bent over to grab the chips, and as I was doing that, I felt something kind of wet and warm on my back. And so I thought, oh man, someone must have bumped into me and maybe spilled coffee, because that might be a better explanation than what had actually happened. And so I was like, that's strange. So I look around, and then this guy is looking at me. His zipper is unzipped, and then he looks at me, he zips up his zipper, and then he starts walking away. And then I was just my jaw was just to the floor because I was just,
okay.
What?
Hold on. What were you wearing? Were you wearing a crop?
I was wearing a bag. No. I was wearing a bag. Regardless what I was wearing, it shouldn't have happened. But I wasn't even wearing anything scandalous. I was wearing a baggy T-shirt and some yoga pants.
Sabine, I'm saying that because you said you felt warm.
Yes, I was wondering, what did you have?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if sometimes you have the sports bra and you just came out of whatever, and your back is revealed in some capacity.
Yeah, no, it was just, I just felt it through my T-shirt, basically.
So you turn around and he's looking at you, but then he zips his pants up?
Yeah, and so I grabbed, so first, let me back up. So first, your first instinct is to put your hand back there. What just happened? What is that? So that was actually what I first did, not turn around. So I first put my hand back there, and then when I brought my hand forward and I saw what it was, I was like, oh my gosh. And then, I could tell it was semen. And so then right after I did that, it was disgusting. And then I turn around, and then that's when I see him, and he zips his pants up. And I was like, oh, hell no.
How did he do? I'm just trying to figure out this. I'm picturing this
know.
scene. So you're bending over looking at chips or just standing there looking at chips?
No, she said she was bent over.
You're bent over.
Standing.
Oh, standing.
I was bent over. Yeah. I was standing and then looking. And then when I finally found the chips that I thought might suit my husband, then that's when I bent over to grab them. And that's right when it happened. I was like, wow.
How much time from when you eyeballed the creep until you felt that on you? How much time had elapsed?
Maybe like 90 seconds, if that.
Well, he was targeting you, apparently.
Oh, well, apparently, and he hit her.
So when you saw it, what was your first reaction? Did you yell for help?
So first, I think I'd be very interested to see the Whole Foods footage. I think now that they caught him, they won't release it. But like in terms of just, my first reaction, not like actually what had like him doing anything, but my first reaction, I'm pretty sure my jaw must have been to the floor. And so I was just, horrified and enraged because, you never know what type of reaction you're going to have to something like this until it happens to you. And, hopefully this will never happen again, but you don't know really, if you're just going to be so shocked that you just stand there and try to process it all. Well, my first reaction was just seeing red and rage. I was just, how dare you? And, I have a daughter. And so I'm just thinking, I'm like, oh my gosh, oh hell no. Like, this is not acceptable. And so, so I just started, so then he started walking away after he zipped his pants.
Not running?
And then I just started yelling. First he was walking, and then when he saw me coming after him, then he started jogging away. But at first he was just walking.
So wait, you started yelling?
Oh, yes. And my voice was so hoarse the rest of the weekend because I was yelling at the top of my lungs.
Honestly, if I would have been there in the store, I would have gone after that guy in a second. I hope. Did other people try to go after him?
No, I think everyone was just so shocked that no one really knows.
Wow.
No one really knew what to do.
Yeah. So he got away from you, obviously, because what did he run out and just run through cars and run off? Exactly.
So yeah. So I just, a lot of expletives that I just, said. I just loudly yelled, this guy effing ejaculated on me. And then...
That's what I was going to ask. So you actually said that. You screamed that out.
Oh, yes. Over and over as I was chasing him. And then I said, I basically... and then I said, un-effing believable. So over and over I said, this guy effing ejaculated on me. Un-effing believable. The entire time I was just going after him. And then I had these chips and then I threw them at him because I was like, I don't have anything else in my hands.
Wow.
And so, not the smartest thing to go after him, mind you, but when, you don't know what he had, if he has a gun on him or anything, but I wasn't thinking like that. I was just like, I am just so livid.
What were people in the store doing?
Just looking, just wide-eyed, mouths open, just, I felt bad for any kids or anything in the store because, here I am throwing F-bombs. But I just wanted as many witnesses as possible to see and hear this.
How effed up are you when that is your thing? You're going to go in and you're going to go on someone in an aisle.
I know.
So fast forward or rewind to Tuesday night. How did they catch the guy?
I brought so much attention to it that as I was running to catch the guy, then he had ducked behind a car. And then when he was coming back to his own vehicle, someone who was still kind of watching the whole situation unfold saw him get into his car. They snapped a photo of his license plate, which was critical. That was critical to catching him. So I want to thank Jose, who was just a great citizen that day.
Absolutely.
And yeah.
And all he sees is a guy running and people yelling. He doesn't even know what he's taking a picture for, but how smart to think on your feet that fast to do that.
Exactly. And then he shared it with the Whole Foods manager. I got his number, sent him a Whole Foods gift card because I was like, well, I know you shop at Whole Foods. But he was critical to bringing this guy down. So So then I went back to the Whole Foods, called 911. Detectives and everyone came out. They got DNA because I didn't wash anything off. I was like, you know what? Let's get this guy.
This is insane.
So, yeah, they got all the DNA from my hand, my shirt, my pants.
Oh, man.
All CSI style. Yeah.
That is nuts.
So we're talking to Sabine Lovell. This horrific accident happened to her in Atlanta at Whole Foods. I want to know how your husband reacted to all of this.
Oh, yeah. He was so furious. I mean, at first, when I called him, he said, oh, my gosh, I have to, come there. I was like, well, the guy's gone. So, he's not here. But he was like, oh, I want to be there to support you when you're talking to the cops and all that. But my daughter was taking a nap, and I was like, no.
Oh.
Let Saphira sleep and all that.
Yeah. I'm always like, pay attention. Because you don't know. Like, you would have never thought that would happen to you. And then what to do afterwards. So the dude's in jail. What is he charged with?
Yeah, so he's charged with battery and sexual assault. And so these charges will make him, hopefully, as long
Sex
as
offender.
Yes. And I was shocked. The detective told me he had no prior record.
I was just going to ask that if he had priors.
Well, that's interesting.
I know.
Man.
But, a lot of times I've had so many people reach out to me and say that something not like exactly like this, but kind of similar has happened to them in the past in like public places. And I guess this is like a fetish. This is like a thing people do.
Wow.
And I didn't even know. But a lot of people just don't report it, or, they don't even realize it happened until they got home, and then they just see that there's something on there. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, what do you do for a living?
I'm a plastic surgeon, so I'm a board-certified plastic surgeon at Muse Plastic Surgery.
Plug your business. What's the name of it?
Muse Plastic Surgery, MUSE.
Got it.
And my Instagram is just at Sabine Lovell, my full name.
All right, Sabine Lovell.
Thank you for sharing this story with us. How brave of you.
Wow.
Thank you.
And you're still going to shop there, right? It's not their fault. I mean,
I haven't. No, it's not their fault at all. I love that Whole Foods.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a little, traumatized by it, obviously, but yeah, I'll be fine. Next time, I'll probably just take some mace with me.
Yeah, maybe Instacart for a few weeks and ease back into it.
Yeah. yeah, it's a lot. I do want to say the Chamblee Police were outstanding, just excellent and
Chamblee
respectful, and just everyone was so helpful and great.
Glad to hear that. All right, yeah, Dr. Sabine Lovell, who was attacked at the Whole Foods. They caught the guy on Tuesday night, and the story ends well. Thank you for sharing your story.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
You guys take care.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you for bringing awareness to this. Bye-bye.
This is The Morning X. It's 99X.